Father Perez?
May God have mercy on your soul!
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Room Went Dark, the true crime and film where we discuss film, TV, and documentaries all based on real events. I'm your host, Amalie, and I'm joined with Lorraine. Hi, Lorraine.
Hello. You're doing the intro now.
Oh God, that's probably my first intro ever, and it's awful. But I've done it, and there we are.
Okay.
Exciting
Lovely.
stuff. We are talking about the wonderful film Annabelle today. Exciting stuff. So, 2014 film, American supernatural horror film,
Yeah.
directed by John R. Leonetti, I believe, and written by Gary Doberman. And I think it's produced by Peter Safran and James Wan as well. But it's essentially based on the spin-off of The Conjuring, isn't it? Um,
Yeah. It's a big, massive kind of world, all that, when you go
the
into it
Conjuring
and you see
universe,
the
yeah.
Conjuring universe. Yeah. When you see how much there is and, Ed
Yeah.
and Lorraine Warren and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot.
I'm sort of slowly getting to grips with the Conjuring universe. It's
How are you?
full on. Yeah.
I know I want to do the second one.
Yeah.
I think we should look into that one for sure.
Maybe
So,
we
yeah,
could
because
do
I enjoyed that one, actually, the second one. So, yeah, that will be one on the list.
maybe we could do something with it, couldn't we, potentially? And
Yeah.
yeah, see with the episodes and things. But today we're going to talk about Annabelle. I could give a bit of the plot, I guess, initially. So, medical student John, who is married to his wife Mia, and they're expecting their first child. And John buys her a very rare vintage porcelain doll as a gift for their first child,
That's
which
not
is
creepy at all.
it's not creepy in the slightest. Me and Steve were watching it. Steve was like, "You would just no. Why would you buy that doll? Like, why would you buy
And it's
it?"
so big.
So big. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrifying looking doll. So yeah,
Mm.
he buys this lovely, wonderful, beautiful doll to put in the nursery, and stranger things have started happening. It's a very slow build, this film. I realized it kind of reminds me a little bit of The Exorcist in the sense that it's that kind of like it's quite slow all the way
Takes its
throughout,
time.
and then it builds, and then the end is just like
And little things here and there. Because I think with a lot of these
yeah,
films is you can kind of dismiss things that are happening and go, did I? Because we do it all the time, don't we? Oh, did I see that? What was that?
yeah,
Like, do you know what I
yeah,
mean? And did I hear that knock? Stuff like that. So I think this is definitely with how slow, like that of The Exorcist, that you're kind of like, that's a bit weird, but we'll just put that down to that. So I think this film does that very well.
yeah, it does. Yeah. What thoughts? I mean, you've seen this before, haven't you? So
I had, but seeing it the second time, I remember the first time I watched it, I didn't enjoy it.
okay.
And the only thing I remember about it, because I mean, I couldn't have told, the only thing I could have told you about this film before we were watching it is there's a baby in it and there's a doll in it. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember anything, and
Okay.
I
Yeah.
remembered the position of the crib in the room, that then the second house. That's the only thing I remembered of it. Um, but this time around, I did enjoy it a bit more,
Yeah.
and I forgot how brutal it was.
Yeah.
Like it's really like that beginning where so obviously they've got their friends and they talk about how they first of all when they're talking about their daughter, I just you assume that the daughter's, died, and but it turns out she's off, with a cult and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Um and then when you see that thing going on in the other room, in the other house next door, and then I forgot that they came over. And it was just like the look on that man and woman's face when they're trying to attack them.
Mm.
It's just, it was nuts. It was brutal how that scene went. Good
I
scene.
think it's one of those like fears that like I think has been unlocked for me of that kind of home invasion. It
Mm,
never used to
mm,
bother me, but I think having now like owning a house,
yeah.
I think does change it a little bit. And so watching it this time because I have seen. I mean, it's very Rosemary's Baby, isn't it? I don't know if you've seen Rosemary's Baby.
Oh yeah.
Even like down to the pram and like just feels a bit like that. Um,
That was the other film I did for my dissertation, Rosemary's Baby and
really,
The
yeah.
Exorcist. So yeah, I remember that one.
Well, can you remember why you didn't like it first time round?
I think I just found it boring, but
Yeah.
I am
Okay.
very much, which probably, other people will probably are as well, is my mood very much dictates when I like a film. It really does. There's certain films that I know. What I always one of them is No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood. Two
Okay.
exceptional films, but I know full well if I watched those when I wasn't in the mood, I would have thought they were shit.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
some films you have to sit down. So obviously that day I watched it, I wasn't feeling, you know, possessed crazy dolls, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I do remember thinking, God, this is crap. Like, do you know what I mean? And I
Mm,
never watched it again, but then we said we'd do it for this. But this time I must have been, maybe I'm looking at it differently. I think that's another thing that happens because you said 2004, no, 14. Was it 2014? You said
2014. Yeah.
2014,
Yeah.
which is what, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, when I was just a young one at 40 and with a different mind. So yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It's just, and I suppose as well, you look at, because like, I had a kid since then, so you look at it through that, and it's just all
Yeah.
these different things. And I did like, though, I did feel, which we don't usually see much of, is I felt like he actually tried to listen to her. Like a lot of, because when people are pregnant, they oh, she's baby brain, she's crazy, and all this kind of stuff with things. And the stuff
Yeah.
she's saying, let's be honest, it's you know
Oh, it
um
does. It does give sort of postpartum hallucination
yeah, it
vibes, doesn't it?
does,
You're
it
like,
does.
okay, is this
And
a mental, sort of not illness, but you know what I mean, like a postpartum kind of
yeah, like
episode.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah, you could be, but I think he deals with it well. I don't think he's too, oh,
No,
there,
I think it's
there,
quite
dear.
supportive, actually,
Yeah,
isn't
whereas I
it?
think I would, especially at the time, because is this the 70s, this one, when it's,
Yeah, I think it's based in like 60s,
yeah,
70s, isn't
because
it? It
what is
feels
it?
60s to me, but it might be 70s. I don't
I
know. I
think
can't
it's 70. Yeah,
remember.
because I think it says here the nurse got the doll in the 1970 in 1970.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I think the thing is, yeah, it doesn't feel 80s at all. It's very, but which
67.
back
Yeah.
then I think they we wouldn't listen to their wives as much. So I thought
Yes.
that the way he dealt with it, he was very supportive of her. And to be fair, they had gone through that brutal home invasion attack where she was stabbed, like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? While very heavily pregnant, she must. I think wasn't long until she actually had her baby, was it?
And the
Um,
baby.
eh?
The
What'd you
baby
say?
survived.
Yeah. Uh,
Like the thing that they go through in the entire like movie is insane though, isn't it? Sort of like the different aspects of like the bit for me was the when she gets locked in the room and she's looking underneath the door and the heavy books are falling down around the baby and I'm like, oh, and then
yeah,
Annabelle just like
yeah.
and like
And the
screaming
baby
and
just
you're like, "Ah."
completely, it's unaware. Like it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, ooh, what's going on here? But and the I mean, I think that was when she smashed the handle off or something, didn't she, with a chair?
Yeah, I think
But
so. Yeah.
there's just so I think it's quite a stressful film to watch because there's so
Yeah,
much panic.
that's exactly what I
and
said. Yeah.
and yeah, and not be, and not being able to get to, it doesn't necessarily be a baby, it could be your friend in the other room or your husband or your wife or something like that, but not being able to get to that person when you can see something terrible is happening.
Yeah.
Like I did find it the whole thing quite a stressful thing to watch, and you kind of, at times you're kind of in there with her, like, do you know what I mean? Just kick the door in or do this,
Yeah.
do that, like, and why are
Yeah,
you
I
just
think there was
looking
one
under
moment
him?
where I was sort of screaming at the TV. I'm like, "Why are you still in the apartment? Go leave
Yeah,
already! What are
yeah,
you
we
doing?"
do that, don't we? Like where
Yeah,
I know that's the film, we if they just were like, we're leaving, but it's one of those things with the doll, with Annabelle. She's a conduit, so you take the doll, it's not the house that's
yeah,
haunted,
it's not the
it's the
house. It's
object,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
um
She goes with you. Yeah,
and the fact that before they moved, he threw it away and then in the bin.
Yeah, we paid a lot of money for that. Like, I don't understand that. Like, why would you pay loads of money for this doll and then just like chuck it in the bit, like sell it? Like, and then you wouldn't have had a
Sell the
problem.
horror to someone
And then there would
else.
have been no film. The
Should have been a
film would have
revenge
been
thing for the
ended.
person they sold
They
it
would live
to.
happily ever after with no
Yeah,
issues.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
yeah, I did find the whole thing and that bit where she's looking under the door and I had you expect eyes to be looking at you expect you don't know what you're going to get like to be honest with you, but I fact that the fact that somebody else that was helpless was on the other
yeah.
side.
That's one
um
thing about this film that I will say. Sorry to cut you off there.
no, you're grand. Used to it.
It-
Usually me.
One more thing. Um, One thing I will say about this film that it does a really good job of not doing the expected.
Mm.
In the sense of, when she's sort of in the lift or elevator if you're American, and she's trying to go back up to the apartment, and she's down in the
Oh,
basement, and the door opens like three times, and you think, God, this third time, like there's going to be something there, and there isn't. And she goes up in the elevator, and she gets out, she starts running up,
yeah.
and the I want to say priest. Let's go
Mm.
with father. Father's in the car. Um,
Father.
Father, father. He's a priest, isn't he? Maybe vicar.
Yeah, they're
He's not a
called
vicar.
priests.
He's a priest.
No, I think vicar's an English thing
Yeah,
solely.
yeah. And you think there's going to be a crash. You're like, he's going over a bridge. He's not looking where he's going. He's gonna like all of a sudden there's going to be something there, and it doesn't happen. You're like, oh, okay. And then he gets to his church, and he gets out, and well, yeah, I don't want to ruin it, but I'm hoping people are watching this because they've seen the film, and yeah.
Yeah, and it's 2014. But yeah, that whole basement scene, because I don't know if I've mentioned it before in here, but like the basements in America are a big thing, and I know it's kind of like everyone's basement because they've got um those little parts that are theirs that they can lock up and put all their stuff in.
Yeah,
But first of all, I was like, she's got her baby up there. Why is she going downstairs?
that's what
And she'll
I
do
said.
that
I was like,
later.
who
I was a
leaves
bit
the
annoyed about
child?
that.
Yeah,
I
me
was a bit
too.
annoyed about that because the baby was too little for that. I mean, I wouldn't even do it now, and mine's 10. About you coming with me.
You're right. Down the
Um,
basement we go.
but I like what you said there about how you just not you don't know what to expect basically because I
Mm,
thought it would open close open close open close and she'd eventually go up there, But like you,
yeah,
every time it opened, you're like, where is it? There's like going to be something
yeah,
standing there. And then when she just legged it and then she's going up the stairs even and you see that hand and stuff, like it's really,
yeah.
you do feel like it's going to get her, properly, like you're not going to come out of this
Mm,
alive type thing. And then knowing all that time she's down there, she's then like, well, what's going on upstairs? So that I've got to get out because my baby's up there on his own because the fella was at work, you know
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
was just
I wonder if that's what adds to the stressfulness of the film because
mm,
it's not the usual roller coaster ride of the ups and downs and the expected jump
yeah,
scares. It's all, you're kind of left still in this stress state at the points that you think you're going to get the release and you don't.
yeah.
Because you're sort of building it. You're like, oh, here we go. Oh, okay.
So
Ah,
then
okay.
you're
Oh,
waiting for it.
sorry. Yeah,
You're like
exactly.
this, waiting
Yeah, and
for
then
it.
sometimes it
Yeah,
doesn't come for ages,
yeah,
or at all, and it'll be in
yeah.
like two scenes later, and you're like, bloody hell.
When you're not prepared for it, and
Yeah,
then it gets
yeah.
you.
You're like,
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah.
know. Do you know much
Sounds
about the
good.
doll itself?
Do you know what I did when we did the Conjuring?
Yeah,
I went on like a little deep dive into it, but because my brain's a little neurospicy, I've just sort of I've let that go and I've picked up other things. And I couldn't honestly tell you much about the doll again now, unfortunately.
yeah,
Do
no.
you? Do you know a bit or
I
not?
don't, to be honest with you, I don't really think there's much to it. I personally just think there's this doll. It's, got some problems that might need to,
Got some problems.
maybe go to therapy about. It was given to these nurses and stuff when they were, I think it was a present from her mum.
Yeah.
And all these things started happening to these nurses. you know.
Yeah.
And then when Ed and Lorraine Warren got it and finally, like, you know, they did come and look into it and all that kind of stuff. Um, they keep it in this glass cabinet. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it
Yeah.
gets
Yeah.
like um you know, the water. What's it the priest does? What do? They
Well, the
bless
holy water, bless
they
it.
bless it. Yeah, they bless it every, I think, once or twice a month, he said. But what something that happened was, so basically Ed and Lorraine Warren and I have died, and I think we
Mm.
did mention it in The Conjuring how Matt Rife bought, who's a comedian, an American comedian, bought
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And
Mad.
then there's this like tour they did, and some guy died within the tour who was handling the Annabelle doll. So
Well,
yeah,
that's
it's
terrifying.
this weird thing, yeah, where I mean, obviously people will, yeah, paranormal investigator dies on US tour with allegedly haunted doll Annabelle.
I love how they like, you know, he probably had like a heart attack or something. Like,
Yeah, and the one
I'm
they
forever the
have,
skeptic, aren't I? This is the thing. Like, I'll always just
no,
be
no,
like,
to be honest with you,
whatever.
it is a bit like, but the one they have, so the one that they show is more like a Raggedy Ann doll, whereas that the
Yeah.
one in the films, because as well, if you look at the kind of one I'm looking at it now, the one that sits in the case in the Warrens Occult Museum,
Is that a
it's,
Raggedy Ann doll, the real one that sits in the case?
well,
That's
that's the
not in the
one,
film.
yeah, sits in, yeah, it looks more like that, and it doesn't, it looks more playful, it looks more
Like the Raggedy
harmless,
Ann. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
With the red
whereas,
hair on them.
yeah, yeah, and it's floppy, you know,
Yeah,
it's you could
yeah.
just kind of walk along holding it in your hand type thing. Whereas,
That's scary, isn't it? To put
yeah,
that in the film.
but yeah, I don't think it would have had the same impact as
No,
the Annabelle doll we see, because that Annabelle doll,
it's so creepy.
yeah, you just don't want, even if it was a doll that was causing no problems, you just don't.
Yeah, I still wouldn't want it in my house
No,
at all. I wouldn't want to
exactly.
look at it.
Yeah, so I think yeah, that they did the right choice in changing it for this, because yeah, that
Yeah,
one looks
I
so
think
so cute. I'll give that to my kid, like, you know, but
so.
um
Lures them in.
then on the thing, because as well it looks very secondhand as well, you know, and it looks, I don't
Well, it looks
know.
antique, doesn't it? You know, there's
Yeah,
something about
yeah,
it that sort of looks like maybe it was from sort of like, I say the 20s, but maybe not. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, like it looks like an antique doll because
yeah,
it's made of like wood. Like you can tell like oh no, no, sorry, it's porcelain, isn't it? Like the porcelain
yeah,
head. But you can tell like the body is soft, I think.
mm, yeah,
Um, but yeah,
yeah.
there's some really quite terrifying scenes in it actually in the film. Um, and
What was the one that you got you the most?
maybe not the one I think the one the most is probably um like the demon thing kind of like coming out at one point. But my favorite bit was the when she's in the I think she's in the nursery and she turns around and she sees the child in the other room through the door,
Mm,
and the child comes running towards her as the door closes,
mm,
and then the adult comes flying in.
mm,
Like
yeah.
that was really well done, I think, in that sense. That's not the one that like got me the most, but I was like, oh, that's cool. I quite enjoyed that one. What about you? What did you?
The one that got me the most was the home invasion, because obviously that feels very real.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, that can happen to anyone. Sorry, guys. Lock your doors. But
Rare, rare, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. But the one, I think the one that kind of, I think the one that kind of hit the most. So they meet, oh, what's her name in it? Um, the girl that she meets that owns the
Oh,
bookshop.
wait. Blah,
Oh,
blah,
Evelyn,
blah.
played
Evelyn.
by Alfre Woodward. And
Yeah,
she's like a really kind of motherly figure. Something had happened to her child, and
yeah,
you know, she's definitely got their best interest at heart. and I really liked her in this, and how um she really just believes what's going on, and she's there basically to help and be a comfort and stuff like that. But when I obviously skip to the end here, because the bit at the end where the mother is about to sacrifice herself for her baby, because if I
Yeah.
put you into something else, that whole thing, then you'll leave my kid alone, because they're looking for a soul. And obviously with children and vulnerable people, they're more open to taking them in, not through choice, obviously. um and when the mother's gonna kill herself by jumping out that back window, like that
Yeah.
whole scene. And I don't know, is it because I remembered it or I thought it was going to happen, but then I was like, that she's going to do it, because too much focus had been taken off of Evelyn when he was down consoling his wife and stuff like that. All the focus had gone. And I was like, yeah, they're gonna. And the way she does that, like, I thought that was so sad. And then at the bottom, you see her and the doll's next to her, and then the doll is gone. You
Mm,
know, I thought
yeah.
that was a really, I thought it was a great scene, but I thought it was a very sad scene, you know?
Well, yeah, particularly because this poor woman has like
Mm,
been through the death of her daughter,
yeah.
and I think fully takes like quite a lot of responsibility for the death of her daughter
Yeah,
as
because it was
well.
a
Like
car accident,
it was a
wasn't it?
car accident, she'd
Mm,
been tired and like, so she's sort of living with this maybe guilt or like responsibility in some way that she thinks is
well,
hers
you
to,
would, wouldn't you?
I guess you would. Like you can't really, it's almost like she's sort of like she's owned it in some way.
Mm,
Like to say to her, "Oh no, it wasn't your fault," would be like, no. Like there's something about
that
the
doesn't
way that
work.
yeah, there's something about the way that she's really obviously sat with it for many years and just been like, look, I was tired. I shouldn't
Yeah.
have been driving. Like it that feels more sad to me because it just feels really heavy. You're just like, oh,
Mm,
jeez. Um, I think the only thing there was a little bit, you know, it always annoys me slightly when
yeah.
they choose a particular actor to become like the savior in the film, and I was a bit sort of like, why does this woman have to be the one?
No, I know, I know. She was, and
For
also,
many reasons, which I won't go into, but yeah, I was a bit like, oh, okay, yeah,
well, I suppose also as well, the priest, he was another one, you know,
yeah, I
because
guess so. Yeah, I mean, but I guess he took the doll, didn't he? And he,
yeah, he
wherever the
took
doll
it.
goes, yeah, so does the danger. But I mean, it's essentially just trying to get souls, isn't it? It's trying to
Mm.
take souls, and yeah,
Well,
but
here's
yeah,
an interesting question, because
baby.
I know, I think I believe in this stuff just a little bit more than you do. I think I'm kind of near what you are, but like you, I'm like, let's not go messing with it, just in case.
Just in case. Yeah,
So
yeah, fair.
my question to you would be, say you met these people
Hmm.
who experienced the Annabelle thing or the Exorcist thing or the Conjuring thing, whatever it is, and they decided to have a conversation with you about it. Not in a
Hmm.
like looking for anything, just like, oh God, this happened, you know. How would you deal with that conversation as someone who thinks it's mainly bullshit?
Well, like if I was talking to like Mia and John, and they were like, "This
Yeah.
happened like several years ago, and
You'd
we
be
went
like,
through
sure.
the."
Like,
I
how would
mean,
you deal with that?
I think I'm like open-minded in that sense. Like if they're telling me that this has happened to them, then you have to
Mm,
kind of take it at face value. Like I know what you mean. Like I guess there would be a little bit of me that's just like, um, but I don't know. I think I would just be like, that sounds crazy and like terrifying. That must have been really scary for you. Like I think I would just react like that because I think like
mm,
to to I guess minimize or like kind of say what are you talking about? Sure,
mm,
like because what is the alternative to that? Quite honestly, if you heard that story, you'd just be like, I don't even know what to say to that. That's all these things started happening, and like and there's two people that are corroborating it as well. So you're just
Mm.
like, well, this isn't just like one person
Yeah.
just wide-eyed telling me about this. Like, I might be a bit sort of like, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I would be open to it. But and like you said, like I'm probably less kind of believing in that sense, but I'm not gonna completely just like
Shut it down.
shut it down because I don't know. I don't
Mm.
know. If someone tells me that they've gone through something like that, particularly if it's like a couple and there's like a
Yeah.
second person that's gonna say, well, actually, I was a witness to it as well, then I'm like, well, who am I to say that it's incorrect? What about you?
I think my thing would be, um, with their permission, of course, because you with certain things you have to be very careful. Is I would be full of questions because you know that I'm full of questions, and I am quite good at getting people to answer questions, not
Yeah,
not in a
very good at it.
non-violent manner,
Yeah, with a
but yeah.
weapon.
Um, but yeah, no, I would just be interested in it, and I think sometimes, like when you watch certain things that are based on real events and the person's talking about it, is sometimes someone's just talking about it. Well, this happened back in the, blah, blah, blah. But then sometimes when they're talking about it, the fear in their eyes as when they speak about it, that they're reliving it equally, like
Yeah.
when you watch a serial killer talk about their kills and they're reliving it, but for all the wrong reasons. Like, do you know what I mean? And you can
Mm.
see it because one thing about that doesn't lie, when people are kind of just relaxed and talking, is their expressions, is the way their body moves, is their
Yeah.
eyes and all that kind of stuff. And I
Yeah.
think I think that if you see that kind of look in their eye where they're like scared, even though it's all stopped and all that kind of stuff, there would be an element of me, I'd be like, something happened here. Like, do you know what I mean? And I don't know really what it was. This is what they're telling me it is, but something's gone on because look, that's not normal for someone who hasn't been through a terrible ordeal,
Yeah. They
you
say
know?
that like you can tell by the eyes, can't you? If
Mm,
someone is when you're sort of facing someone, if they're looking down to the right, if you're facing them, that usually shows that they're trying to recall memories from the past.
mm.
Whereas if they're sort of facing up to the left, that's usually a lie, is
Well,
what they
yeah,
say.
because like if
Not
you
always
ask
true, but
someone a question and you don't want to give the truth, you're not going to be like looking at them unless you're a maniac, looking them dead in the eye and being like, you know, I did not have relations with that woman. Um,
should bloody well good. Yeah, yeah.
um, but do you know what I mean? It's an interesting one because some people will be like, "This is real. This happened. Oh my god," you know.
But some people do
Yeah.
genuinely believe that.
Mm.
I think we talked about this previously with the young boy, and I think that was to do with the Conjuring, wasn't it? Was it? Yeah,
Which
yeah.
oh,
The
the
young
devil,
boy.
the
Oh, the
devil
devil.
on trial. So the young
Yeah.
boy, yeah,
And the family
yeah.
absolutely, like there are still members of that family that
Mm.
absolutely believe that was the case, and then there are other members of the family going absolutely fucking hell, this is a bunch of bullshit.
Well, it's the same with the
So
Amityville Horror. I saw a documentary with the
yeah,
young boy in it, and he gets really freaking angry if anyone questions it. Like, do you know what I
mm,
mean?
yeah.
So, but
So
but is that to them? It did happen that way. Do they remember it that way? Is it what
yeah,
they've been
quite literally,
told? So there's all those elements to it.
yeah.
But
I think this is the thing. There's a really good film, and I can't remember. I think it's called Smile that I watched,
oh
which
yeah, 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 yeah.
it was right where there's like it's
Where
sort
they
of like a
smile.
contagious thing,
Yeah.
and you spend most of the film being like, is she actually just mentally unwell?
Mm,
And there's a real kind of like dilemma going on about whether or not. And I really love films that are like that because you're just sort of like, I just think if things like that started happening to me, I would assume that something had gone awry mentally for me.
well, I think that's
I
how a lot of
wouldn't,
people start off.
yeah, I wouldn't immediately assume that it was something spiritual, I don't
No,
think.
because why would you? Like, do you know, like we were saying at the beginning, it's like, we're especially postpartum or perimenopause, or you've
Yeah.
gone through a grief or whatever, is your brain's going to be playing tricks on you anyway.
Yeah.
And you know, even if you've none of those things have happened, you're some 25-year-old and nothing bad's happened in your life, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you start seeing stuff moving and creaking and, oh, that's weird. And at the start you'd be like, and because I've done things like that where I will purposely do something because I thought I've done it, and why is that not where it's supposed to be? And it turns out it's just, obviously I didn't do the thing, like not one of
Yeah.
Riley's toys coming to life. Um but it's it's one of those things, I think, yeah, at the start, of course you're going to go, oh, must have not had enough sleep last night, and
Yeah.
I'm going a bit nuts here. I keep seeing,
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. But then I think it will get to the stage with certain things, and this can, like, even be in a relationship where a partner starts off lovely, and then these little things start happening, and you're like, that's,
Yeah.
and it gets to the point where you can't excuse away, you know, what's going on, because you've gone down every avenue of making sure I did put that there. Take a picture of it. I put that there. There's the picture of me putting it there, whatever. And then it's starting to change, where
Yeah.
you have to kind of look a bit further. But then I even heard about this thing once. I can't remember who. It was 8 years ago I heard about it, where this woman thought she was going mad because there was a lot of times she went down to eat her dinner, and her dinner was gone, and her husband would say to her, um, "You ate that," and she hadn't. I don't know where this is from,
Okay.
and maybe somebody told me this, or maybe it was a personal story to someone. I don't know, but it turned out he had been throwing her dinner away, and she thought that but he convinced her she had been eating it. You know? Yeah, exactly. Which is obviously a form of abuse. But
Yeah.
eventually she got to the stage where she's like, "Oh right, yeah, I must have yeah, I did eat that, yeah." Because then you say to yourself, "Yeah, yeah, I did,"
Because you completely
but
gaslight
you don't
yourself.
want to say, "No, I didn't. I'm still hungry." Like, do you know what I mean? It's just,
I'd be like, oh, did I? Well, I am still really hungry.
I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
get
go
myself
and
a
get
second
something
dinner.
else. Yeah, I'm just gonna get a bit of toast or something. Yeah, I do. I think I wonder if that, to be honest, in my mind, I feel like that would be more likely for a woman to do,
Mm,
purely because of how we're conditioned into, you know, a lot of us are like our thoughts and feelings can be minimized
mm,
and sort of squashed
yeah.
and gaslit, more so I think than
Mm,
for men. I don't mean to be stereotypical, but
it's
you
true.
know, society would say that, yeah,
Yeah.
we are probably deemed, I mean, you look at history, it's, the hysterical woman and all of that kind of
Mm,
stuff. So there's an element of, yeah, of women I think are very good at self-doubting
yeah.
more so. Personally, that's what I believe. But yeah, and you probably would. And I quite like the idea of that with like a horror movie that starts off with like just things getting moved around the house. I swear I put that there yesterday. I'm sure that and you could really mess around with it for quite a bit because anyone with ADHD would be like, know how that feels. Like, I'm pretty
Good.
sure I put that back there. Like, how the fuck's that gone? Where are my glasses? They're on your head. Like all of that kind of stuff. Where like you're sort of trying to find things and then you, like you say, you like do the test and you like take pictures and like
Mm.
or like write something down and like and then it's sort of like you start to work out, hang on a second, that this isn't right. This isn't right. This has moved, or I didn't say that, or yeah, and you can sort of begin to, you sort of become a bit of a detective, don't you, in your own right, I guess, to sort of
Well,
try
yeah,
and
because what's the
find out.
alternative? You think you need some help, like you think I need to go speak to someone or a therapist, and but then you don't want to because you
Yeah.
don't want to, especially back in a certain time, like
Yeah.
in the 70s, if you went, I'm seeing people and things are moving, and this little girl came running up to me on my apartment and
You'd be
stuff like that, you'd be, you
straight
know,
to the primary. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
It's just not,
But I think that's the nice bit about this film. That's why I kind of like mentioned the Smile film because in that film, you know, she's not believed, and she thinks, oh my God,
You're mad, yeah.
I'm all mad, you know. And I don't think there's anything more actually. I mean, I think one of the most frightening, again, like another unlocking fear for me, is this idea that something like that would be happening to me and no one would believe me and support me, you know.
Well,
And
I think, go on.
well, I mean, and I'd be fine if people thought I was going mad and they actually like took me somewhere to get me some support with it. But if they were just like, you're just seeing things, like just stop
Yeah.
it, and didn't actually give me any support to deal with it, then like that's terrifying. That's really frightening because you're just left with this to deal with this on your own, essentially.
Say all these things are true.
Mm,
Say everything that happened actually happened. And
hmm.
like you said, no one will believe you because it sounds so far off, the chart. Like
Well,
your life is in danger,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And, to the point
terrifying.
where she's about to jump out a freaking window and someone did, poor Evelyn, um, to, and that's the thing. So say this is all true.
Yeah.
Like, because that's one thing about when you watch these, possession things, supernatural, is especially when it's demonic, they're relentless, like absolutely relentless. And the things that they do that are so life threatening,
Mm,
and terrifying.
mm,
So if any of this is 100% true and it does 100% happen, which people will tell you it does, me and you are on the fence because we've never experienced it, and it's a really hard thing to kind of believe certain things when and we're not religious people or anything like that.
yeah.
But if the Annabelle doll is as strong a demon as the film portrays her to be, like that is absolutely terrifying, because that's like just
Yeah.
around your baby and around your home, and it's just people are dying, and it's so scary.
And the thing is, you can never really write it off because I know people who are like they call them like intuits, right? Like they're
Yeah,
intuitive.
yeah,
So maybe not necessarily like psychics, but like
yeah.
in that kind of realm. And
Mm,
they'll do like house cleansing sessions for you and stuff like that, which would suggest that there are energies
mm,
attached to particular objects in your house. And whether that's like from a previous owner, perhaps if you've got something secondhand, like an Annabelle doll, for example. But it all just sort of makes you, because even that to me, like, I watch, oh God, what's the guy on TV? Blonde guy, he always looks really young, but he does incredible like work with like a lot of like Hollywood, where he'll just like talk about things that they've never talked about.
mm.
And he's like a massive psychic, and you're like, well, how does he know these things? And I'm like, well, I can't say that it's not true because he's having these experiences, and he doesn't come across like he's, mentally unwell.
But if
Like
you
he
never
seems
had
like
those moments
what do you mean? In what sense?
where you say something or you think something
Yeah,
and you're like an experience I had, I think I might have mentioned on another episode, is where I was chatting to this woman and she has a son. And I
yeah.
was like, how come I never see his twin? And she goes, what do you mean? I says, because he's a twin. I says, but I only feel like I ever see one of them. And she said to me, she goes, he was a twin, but the twin died like before, inside her.
Oh,
And I was like, oh. She goes, how did you know that? I says, I don't know. I just, for some reason, I thought he was a twin. Like, what I mean? I don't know why I thought that, you know. And like this morning,
maybe the
something had popped into my head about one of my daughter's friends sometimes struggles going into school. And this morning I woke up and I went, oh, it's weird. She hasn't struggled at all going into school lately. Oh, it's great. And then this morning she struggled. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
sometimes and they're just little things, but sometimes I will think something and then I get told it that day or it happens that day.
Maybe you've got like a bit
I don't
more
think
of
I'm
a
like
like.
some psychic or something like that, but I do
No,
think
but you
I'm
might
very
have an
intuitive.
intuitive aspect. Like I,
Yeah.
I have that in the sense that because I'm neurodivergent, like I can walk into a room and I know if I've been talked about, I know if someone else has got beef with someone in that room.
You
Like
can read your
it's,
room.
I can
Yeah.
read a room. As soon as I
Yeah.
walk in, I'm like, oof, there's some tension in
Yeah.
here, you know?
Aura.
Yeah, the aura. Well, I
Yeah.
think it is just like
Yeah.
a sensory thing. I think
Oh
you
yeah.
I'm just really aware of like, and I can be sat next to somebody and I'm like, why do I feel fucking sad? Like, well, I feel so sad right now. Like,
Mm,
and I'm like, what have I got to be sad about? And I'll sort of turn to the person next to me. I'm like, are you okay? And they're like, what? And then we end up having
mm,
a conversation. And they're like, and they're like, I'm actually really down today. And and that I think that kind of stuff helps me in terms of like my work out, outside of podcasting. Um, but I've had moments when I was as a kid where I've like seen things. But again, it's like I'm a kid. That's probably just imagination. But I'm not going to say 100% it's just imagination.
mm,
Like I did have one experience where I thought I was being called from downstairs by my dad. And I came down the stairs and I came out to the kitchen and I was like, what? Because I was a kid. Like, what do you want? Why are you calling me?
so annoying me.
And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you've called me like multiple times over and over again. And he was like, no, I haven't. And I was just like, oh, okay. So I went to go and find my brother. What do you want? What are you talking about? I was like, you've just
Mm,
called me. And then in my head, I immediately went, oh, that's Pappy, as in like my dad's dad. But I had like barely any connection to that man. Like I remember him being really unwell. I was
mm,
probably about like 7 or 8, I think, when he passed. He had emphysema. I just remember him being like
mm,
unwell, like really unwell anytime we went round. And that's really the only memory I have of him. And I don't really have like a connection to him other than he was, Pappy and he was unwell. But for some reason, it was like, oh, that was Pappy. It was so strange. And I still have it clear as day now, where it wasn't even like, oh, this is weird. I must find a solution, like an answer to this. It was like, oh, obviously, that
mm.
was so weird. So weird.
But I think that's the thing. I think sometimes you just have this like intuition about you.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like, I'm a psychic, a mystic
No, oh
over
God,
here.
no. I'm like
You know what I
nowhere
mean?
near anything like that.
No, but
I
I
wish.
do I do
That's so
think
cool.
that but then you get some people who are so unaware. My husband being one of them.
Well, some people
He's
are
just
just,
like ever
but
so
same
clueless.
here, right? Like
Yeah.
the closest people to me are
Yeah.
nowhere near. They are like, no, that is
Mm.
that. I've like it's like no, that's not true. You know,
Yeah.
that's made up stuff
Yeah.
that people believe in. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. But I think like going back to this, it's like I think that's one of the things is like I think you can have people who are like it's all bullshit, which is fine. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
Yeah,
I to be honest with you, I understand.
they're probably the safer ones if
Yeah,
it
I
is real.
understand you thinking it's all crap. I really do.
Sure, yeah, it's hard to believe.
That's easier to understand if I'm honest than someone who thinks it's 100% this happens all the time. Like, do you know what I mean? Because there's
Yeah,
so many things where we've seen even with Ed and Lorraine Warren how they did sometimes do things to profit. And as we saw when we did the Devil on Trial, one
yeah,
of our previous episodes. But yeah, so yeah, I think we're both on the page where we're not going to say it's not there, but
yeah.
we don't sit up at night thinking about it. Sometimes, but hey, why
Every
don't you?
now and then.
Every now and
Mhm.
then. But I think because there's few Annabelle films out that I think I might check them out.
Yeah,
But
there's several, isn't there? Maybe we'll
yeah,
cover another one at
yeah.
some point. So my question to you then
Oh
is, if you were gifted an Annabelle doll,
no.
not knowing obviously the film or the backstory, and weird things started happening in your house, how do you think you would deal with it?
I think if it was because of the film and because of what we know, if it was an actual doll, a Raggedy Ann Annabelle doll, I'd just
Mm.
get rid of it. Like I'd put it in the bin,
Will I
put
get
dirt
rid
all
of
over it so some poor kid didn't pick it up and think, this is lovely.
it?
Um so yeah, I would get rid of it. Like I'd just be I think that's the thing though nowadays is we've seen so much film and documentaries and podcasts and articles about all this stuff, that people might be a bit quicker to be like, because it's, and I get you can't just leave your house. Like, you own your house, I own my house, and if we had to move and still pay for this house and we wouldn't be able to do it.
No.
um so I get all that it's not easy just to get up and go and stuff. And also,
Yeah.
why did you leave all your stuff behind? Oh, because my house is possessed, that's why. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
sound insane. um but yeah, because of because of things like this, I'd be quicker to investigate. I'll say
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
I'd be quicker to
Sure.
set up cameras. I'd be quicker to purposely do stuff to see, but I wouldn't tell my child because she would move the stuff.
Oh God, you
And
would play
plus it would be,
so
oh
many
no, I
games with
wouldn't tell her,
you.
honestly. That's a bad parent. I wouldn't tell her because it's scary. No, I wouldn't tell her because she'd be like,
Because she's like, "Yee."
yeah, she's a little shit. She'd be freaking moving everywhere. She'd think it was hilarious. Um, but
Totally.
yeah, I would just be quicker to
Yeah,
investigate, I think,
that's fair. That's fair.
you know. But
I think me and you think quite similarly. I think we're very kind of like
yeah,
detective. We'd be good in the police, I think, with me and you, to a
yeah.
degree.
Oh
Like
God,
as a
yeah.
detective, not like frontline, because that's stressful. I couldn't deal with that.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Um, but
Yeah, I know I'd be an
yeah,
FBI profiler if they got rid of Cash Patel, then I'll go in and do it.
yeah, yeah, you'd be great at that
He's
actually.
he's scary. This is driving me mad because I need to figure out how to stop this from moving. It won't stop. I can't figure it out. It doesn't work.
Oh, you're
Maybe
so
it's Annabelle in the background. Ooh. But I will figure it out. But
That's
yeah,
the technology that you have.
I know. And I wouldn't mind. I switched it off, but it's still doing it. Maybe I need to restart my computer. Um, so if anyone knows how to get rid of it on a Mac, do let me know.
Okay, that'll be all our comments. Like,
The other comments, yeah. They'll be
shall
like,
we
it's
now
so
read?
annoying the way it moves, and then at the end they'll be like, oh,
It's
they
this
stayed to the end.
button right here.
Yeah.
This one thing.
You got
Yeah.
anything else to add?
I not that I can think of. No, overall I kind of enjoyed the film. Like similar to you, I think like in the beginning, I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it. It was
Mm,
slow and I was a bit bored, and I
mm,
was kind of like, well, things are happening, but this is taking a long time.
yeah.
And I was just sort of like, well, for the same reason that The Exorcist is like that. It's
Mm,
this kind of very slow build to like a pretty big crescendo. And I thought, well, let's give it, its due and to
yeah.
see how it goes because it definitely felt like that as well because it's based in sort of like late
Yeah.
60s. It
Mm,
sort of has that kind of like even the way that they've filmed it feels very
mm.
sort of like you're watching a film from the sort of
It was
60s
made
and
then.
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
did a good job of kind of making it feel like that. Um, But yeah, I'm glad I don't live in America and I have a basement because I don't think I would be going down to that basement today, if I'm completely honest. Like for us here, it's the attic, isn't it? Like we just don't
Which
go
we
up
never
that
go in.
often. Yeah,
We've been here
because
two
like we're
years and
just
we've
like,
never even looked at it yet.
have you not? I've never been up there.
Dev showed me a picture of it, so that's enough for me.
That'll
Um,
do.
yeah, no, but we had when I
Um,
lived in America, there was an attic, and we had to go down there to do like laundry, but it wasn't
yeah.
at all a nice one. It was like the whole
Okay.
apartment block, and it was in dire need of being done up, and spider webs and wooden stairs that looked like they were going to break any minute. And
Yeah.
I used to just run down there, throw it in, and then run back up. I hated it, hated it.
It's
Yeah,
strange, isn't it, to own a property and have a room in a property that you are frightened of
afraid of.
going into. Like it's so,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like loads of people. I mean, mostly I think most people in America like they use their basements for like laundry
yeah.
and they're
Or do it
usually quite
out as a
done
proper
up.
room. You
Yeah,
see
like have
people
it as a
doing
proper.
that. Like
Yeah.
if it was like a proper room, it'd been like plastered and decorated, and like you
Yeah.
had it as like your little cinema with all your films and stuff. Perfect. But it's when you go down to them and it looks like no one's been there for 500 years. That's
Yeah.
when you don't want to go down and there's a coffin in the corner or something.
Well, it's like most attics in the
Yeah.
UK. That's what they look like. Like we
Yeah,
just don't
we have
use
coffins in
them
the corner
unless
over
we're
here.
like, getting an extension and putting in
Yeah.
like a room up there. I remember they did have one friend who, because I don't know if you go by this, but like the whole thing of like if you move into a new house, if there's something left behind, you're supposed to keep it because it's bad luck to throw it out.
Oh,
You ever come across that?
no.
And a friend who she bought her house with her husband, and in the attic was a either like a painting or a picture of a clown. She hates clowns. And it was
Throw that
such a
out.
sinister picture as well. And she was like, what do I do? Like, I want to get rid of it. But obviously, they've left it here. I can't throw it out because it's bad luck.
Because
And we were like, you're
Pennywise
going to have
will
to just keep
appear.
it. You're just going to have to leave it up there. And I think till this day, it is still up
Just leave it
in
up there
the
out the way. You
loft.
don't need to hang
Just
it.
that I just don't go up there. I just don't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
And
Cool.
if her husband's up there for too long, she's just like, are you alive?
Has the clown got you?
Has the clown
Um,
got you?
yeah.
But yeah, there we go. So Annabelle, worth a watch. It's slow
Yes.
build, but yeah, I'm saying it like it's like a new film that's out. It's from 2014. It's been out for
I
ages.
know.
If you
Out for
haven't
a
watched
while.
it yet, where have you been?
Have a look.
Tell
Yeah,
us
and
what you think.
let us know your thoughts below because we're going to put this on your job.
Your job.
With
Oh
our
yes,
lovely
this is our
faces.
first one, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I
I
know.
even know what we look like. Oh God.
I know.
Please be
That's a
kind.
horror movie in itself.
I know, right?
Yeah, and I'll put all the links below in the thing.
It's a
You
thing.
can tell we're pros, in the
We're
thing.
bros.
For like Instagram and stuff. And next week we're gonna do the documentary The Crash, which I have gone down a rabbit hole on, I have to say.
Oh God,
Honestly, go down a rabbit hole on Instagram of all
Yeah, watching it.
oh my God, her dad, her mum, her, just
Yeah. I won't say anything now, but yeah.
but yeah, I'm just like,
Interesting.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, we will chat to you soon. And my hand looks massive. Woo.
Talk to the hand.
We will chat to you soon. And if somebody tries to give you a doll,
Don't take it.
that is our words of wisdom for the day.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. Simple.
Simple. All right then.
Bye, everybody.
Ta-ra.
Bye.
Bye.